Hey guys, what's up? It's Katy and I'm back with another Marvel Contest of Champions video, and it is Top 5 Thursday. So today we are going to be going over the top 5 cosmic champs that I think should be added to the game in 2021. So I'm going to be going over, like the other videos, basically a quick version of who these characters are and what powers and abilities they might have in the contest. Now, this is just my opinion and my opinion alone, but I would love to hear who you guys think who should be added to the contest as cosmic characters in 2021. So without further ado, let's get this countdown started with the #1 spot going to Null. Now, Null ruled the primordial universe alone until the arrival of the Celestials, who began filling his domain with matter, light, and life. Now, he went to war against them and their creations to return the universe back to a dark void, creating many powerful weapons to aid him, including the Necro Sword and Clintar symbiotes. Now, Null could be an interesting character design for Kabam. So he could cycle through power gain, armor up, furies, and regen with his Necro Sword, and this would be accomplished by landing, I don't know, let's say heavy attacks based on which buff is present. Now, because Null can survive space, he would be immune to cold snap, and because he can manipulate dark energy, he would have energy-based attacks. He would, however, suffer increased damage from said energy-based attacks. #2 on the countdown goes to Beta Ray Bill. Yes, horse face Thor. So now for this instance, I'm saying that Beta Ray Bill is going to be cosmic. He could technically be tech if they brought in the cyborg version of Beta Ray Bill, but for this instance, we're going cosmic and saying he's not the cyborg version. So the Corbinites created a guardian who would travel with the fleet and protect them during their journey after the destruction of Surtur. Now, when Thor arrived in the vicinity of the fleet, Bill's sentient ship Scuttlebutt detected him as a threat and opened fire. Thor boarded the Scuttlebutt, where he confronted Bill and they fought. Anyway, long story short, Odin transported both of them to Asgard and he made them fight, but neither of them were able to outbest each other. And so basically what happened then is because Beta Ray Bill regained consciousness first and he was tasked to kill Thor, he refused, which was Odin's final test, and Odin gave Beta Ray Bill Stormbreaker. So Beta Ray Bill, like Hyperion, would be able to gain furies off of heavies, increasing his attack. He would have high physical resistance, and he would take reduced damage from Cold Snap and Incinerate. Now, he would, of course, have Stormbreaker with him, and Stormbreaker would allow Beta Ray Bill to produce energy attacks and inflict shock. Now, this is pretty cool. I think Kabam could kind of do this. So as a synergy member, he would be able to heal his teammates 5% of their max health per fight he wins. So think of it as like persistent charges. So I kind of think that would be a cool little mechanic for Kabam to add into the game with Beta Ray Bill. #3 on the countdown goes to the Allfather himself, Odin. So Odin Borson is a Nexus being who is omnipotent and almost unrivaled in raw power. He is the son of Bor Borson, and he basically has 2 brothers. We all know he is married to Frigga and is, of course, the father of Thor and Hela. Now, Odin is the wisest by far and the most powerful of the Asgardian gods. Now, he has access to a force known as the Odin Force, which lets him to manipulate vast cosmic energy power. So Odin would be able to regen on block, and as his health gets lower, he would create a force field around him, which allows him to take reduced damage. He would also have an indestructible, much like Hela, and he would produce both energy and physical attacks. Now, because Odin is weak when he sleeps, he would have a stun vulnerability on him as well. So he would take more damage once he is stunned. #4 on the countdown goes to Valkyrie. And when I'm talking about Valkyrie, I'm talking about Brunhild, not the MCU version, Scrapper, whatever her number is. Although she would be a really cool one to add as well. But for this instance, we're going to talk about Brunhild. So the Asgardian goddess Brunhild is one of Asgard's mightiest warriors and, of course, the leader of, well, the Valkyrie. So she was so proficient at this task and renowned for her skills that she was able to maintain this position of power for centuries. And she even actually spent time with the Defenders. Now, Obviously, she would be immune to all poisons of the battle realm and would ride Aragorn into the fight, because who wouldn't want to see her ride in on her Pegasus? Now, because she can sense the death glow of those close to death, she would gain an increase in attack when her opponent drops below 15% health. Now, she would possess her two primary weapons, the mystical sword Dragon Fang and her enchanted spear Gear, which she could serve as her two pre-fight abilities. So the Dragon Fang would allow her to absorb and redirect energy damage, which I think would be kind of a fun mechanic for her to have in the game. And then the Gear pre-fight ability would increase her base attack. Number 5 on the countdown goes to AntiVenom. So when Eddie Brock was separated from the Venom symbiote, traces of it actually were left in his body. Now, at this point in time, Brock was actually suffering from cancer, and Martin Lee, who is the founder of Feast and actually the alter ego of the supervillain Mr. Negative, used his powers to cure Eddie's cancer, but he accidentally infused the remnants of the symbiote in Eddie's bloodstream with his power and fused them with his white blood cells, which created this new hybrid symbiote, AntiVenom. Now, AntiVenom would be able to purify all debuffs and would be immune to Incinerate. Now, also, when he's going against any symbiote champ, he would deal extra damage, so he would get an increase in attack. He would have a high physical resistance, gain fury, cruelty, precision, power gain, and armor up buffs. Now, AntiVenom would also periodically gain a regen buff, much like OG Wolvie. However, it would surpass OG Wolvie's regen because AntiVenom has one of the best regen mechanics in the comics. Now, because AntiVenom has a quote-unquote Spidey sense, he could also have an evade mechanic maybe after launching a special 1 or a special 2, or hey, any special for that matter. And because, of course, he is a symbiote who is basically kind of an opposite of Venom, he could still stop all Spidey evades. And what's a countdown without an honorable mention? And this week's honorable mention goes to Gore the God Butcher. Now, I have a feeling we may actually see Gore the God Butcher once Thor Love and Thunder is released, since he's the main villain in that movie. But Gore the God Butcher, is by far one of Thor's deadliest villains, whose sole purpose in life is to destroy basically all gods across the multiverse. So he's armed with the Necro Blade, which he took from Null, remember, our #1 guy. And he actually created the God Bomb, which would have made gods obsolete. Now, like most cosmics, Gore would gain furies, have high physical resistance, but he would also produce dark energy attacks with the Necro Blade, and he would gain an increased attack against any god. Sorry, Thor. And he would also be immune to shock. But anyways, guys, that is it for this week's Top 5 Thursday. Make sure you let me know in the comments below, what top 5 cosmic champs would you like to see in the game in 2021? Do you agree with my picks, or am I missing someone? Let me know in the comments below and let's discuss. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching, and enjoy this quick word from Kevin Smith.
Hey man, it's me, Kevin Smith, and if you enjoyed the mediocre Mcoc video full of scrub gameplay, then show Katy some love by hitting like and subscribe, man. Katy don't ask for much. Katy did ask for this. Katy did. So, do like Katy did and bug people and get you to like and subscribe, man. She's doing that Mcoc beautifully, not mediocre. Katy!